It was wild. Okay.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
we've
it was
been
really
on a roll, man.
wild.
We've been doing a lot of things.
Wow.
I've been practicing guitar all weekend. We've had a good weekend, but man, we're tired, but we're here. We wait for the sun to go down, so we're waiting on the sun. Otherwise, we would have done the show earlier before we were so fucked up.
We changed
But
our
we have
hours.
so much things to talk about.
We changed our hours.
And
honey,
could you
you're
do me one favor?
yes, and you're too far to the left.
Yeah, I'm also a guy. I gotta piss.
Okay.
I didn't think about this.
You didn't think about this.
But yeah, could you entertain him for a bit? I gotta get my notes straight. I'm sorry, we're doing so much.
Gotta entertain the folks.
I gotta.
Folks, he really should have prepared better for this. He should have did what I did and just took a piss before we started. So, take a look at the familiar faces that make this show possible. They're all a part of our weird little world. And if you haven't tuned in, this guy in particular is very important. He means a lot to us. He's blurry. He is our Junkyard Joe. And he lives a wild life and he does cocaine. But we don't talk about it. Let's not talk about that.
Speaking of subject
He has
matter,
his own stories. And he's new to the scene. So hopefully everybody took a piss now.
What's up?
You know who I think didn't take a piss?
Who?
She didn't take a piss. Her. The little black girl there.
Man, she ain't took a piss in about 30 years.
I don't think she took a piss.
She's trying to stay still so nobody
That's
maybe
what I
notices.
look like when I haven't taken a piss.
Alright, man, let's give this some.
Let's see.
So many lights.
Let me
Let's
look
get
at
the
you.
cat out of the bag.
You are in a really weird position. You really are. I don't know why I feel like I keep having to move over this way. Okay.
Let's get the cat out of the bag.
Okay.
I had a job lined up making $20 an hour and a sign-on bonus. Direct hire. The grease and the wheels were churning. Look here, kids. There are a few things you got to know about me. I don't chase phantoms. And I sure as hell don't chase carrots. Don't waste my time. I'm staying where I am. Life is good, the wine is sweet, the music never has been so good. Now for the news. Let me tell you about this episode. I have the paperwork right here. I went through this fucking shit. I have a beautiful resume.
Yes, you do.
And I went through hell for all this shit. And they made me go sit in my car and use the app this, that. I just,
right.
Before I lost my cool, I said, fuck this. I liked it better when I was poor. And I went to the record store. And I just browsed the records. I had to wait for them for like 30 minutes to open because it was so early, but I didn't care. And I bought the Dirty Knobs. But little did I know until I got home and I listened to the first track. It's called Reckless Abandon. But the reason I bought it is they have a song called Fuck That Guy.
Right.
And I really am buying it. But the guitarist is from Tom Petty's band. Great album. I chose that over Money. Because I if you're not professional, and I can't deal with you.
Yeah.
I can't deal with you. And I felt like I was going to get the scabies. Fuck COVID. There was so many people packed in there like sardines. And I just wanted to run.
Yeah.
And I said, fuck it. I like what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I'll work for my little bit money. But guess what? At least I can be the man I want to be. Because
Right.
it was red flags from door to door.
And you're,
I just ran
Right.
and I went to the record store and I told the guy, man, just give me a record. I want to fuck it. Shit.
right.
And I want to eat some edibles and drink some beer and forget this day ever happened.
Go
'Cause
back,
I
yeah.
knew I was going into a pit of doom.
Go back to the place where you have familiar faces. You know who
Yeah,
they are.
Cheers. You remember
Right?
Cheers?
You know who they are.
Where everybody knows your name.
Everybody knows your name. And then you know what?
And everybody's hanging out and everybody's good. The mailman's pissed off, but guess what? You drink, get a couple beers in you. We're talking about Ronnie over at the hardware store.
Right.
Yeah, he always stabbed a bitch. But guess what? Now it's just a funny story.
Right.
And you go to bed and you do it again tomorrow.
And you come
Get a grip, man.
and you come home and your wife is still in the chair you tied her to, and
Yeah,
everything's
and
fine.
no problem.
And nobody touched her.
And nobody touched. And guess what? Everybody's happy.
Yeah, everybody's happy.
Everybody knows that place.
Everybody knows.
Get back.
Yeah, get back.
Well,
Get out of here.
huh?
Right?
And
We're not having
there's
it.
talk about footage of a man walking through the clouds.
What?
I saw the image. Calm down, people. I've
Wh-
seen ordinary men do far.
What did it look like?
And amazing things women, too,
Yeah.
do. Life is not a fairy tale. Get your ass to work. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
If he's up there, then goddamn it, what the fuck you doing up there? Come down here and help me pick this shit up. Motherfucker.
Yeah.
I've seen men do more incredible things. What you doing walking up there in them clouds? Why don't you come help me pick up some of this shit?
Right.
What the fuck? Who do you think you are?
Right.
Get your ass down here, bitch. I don't give a fuck. If I saw a man walking in the clouds, I'd start throwing rocks.
Start throwing rocks.
Yeah, fuck him.
Well,
Get your ass down
right,
there.
but at one time, if you
I
saw,
I walk in the
Honey,
clouds, but
if
I
you
save that
s-
shit for when I'm
okay,
done.
but if
In my dream.
at one time, if you saw a guy walking in the clouds, it's called walking on a tightrope. That was a real thing. People used to do that.
It's clouds and it's this giant human figure. It looks like he's walking. But you know, there's stories that they're shooting holograms in the sky, making people think they
That's
see stuff
stupid.
just to cause hysteria. I don't give a fuck. All I know, if I look up and see a guy walking in clouds, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, get your ass down here!"
Ooh.
And that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, if I saw someone walking in the clouds, I would think, this shit's real. I would think, okay, you know.
No, I'll yell at him and I'll tell
Right.
him to get his ass down here.
Um,
Bring your fruity tooty ass down here. If you walk, like, what you doing up there, man? The trouble's down here.
I would think to myself, well,
And
you
I'm gonna
know,
start throwing shit at him.
insanity
I'm gonna throw him
runs.
some shade.
I think insanity runs in the family. Okay, I can live with this.
No, I'm gonna
Whatever
yell
this
at him.
is,
I'm
right.
serious. I'm gonna know.
Right,
What the fuck you doing up there, man?
but in the back of my
What
mind,
are you doing up there?
because I don't know what it really is, in the back of my mind, I'm always gonna think I might be a little crazy. But I can live with
Maybe
that.
it's a fruit bat.
Yeah, maybe I can, but I can live with a fruit bat. Remember when we were talking about the bats and their crazy faces? Remember when we went online and we saw their faces? They look insane.
Why are
They do.
dreamers who call South Carolina home leaving? It's like a toxic relationship, they say.
What?
Words like that make me want to stay.
Yeah, what the hell is
Because
going
that
on?
means if I run away, they're just going to follow me. So that,
Right.
you know. I don't know. They're like,
Naturally.
man, it's so toxic.
What is toxic
It's so
about it?
toxic. It's like, we got to move somewhere because I read books. I have a degree. It's so toxic. Go. If
Good.
you leave, I can stay and be happy.
Get out of here, you bitch.
Because you sound like a bitch.
Yeah, you sound like a bitch. What are you even doing here? Gosh.
Oh my god, it's so toxic. I'm like, what the
So uppity. Really
And the
uppity.
picture was her standing there in like a trailer
Mm-hmm.
in a circle of books, standing there like giving shade. I'm like, you contribute to nothing.
Right. Man.
Anyway,
Why have
school
people-
bus full of children hijacked in South Carolina by Army trainee with a gun.
What?
The sheriff reported, think the guy was just guarding these dreamers.
What?
It was the scariest thing they ever seen. I added a line in there because I was talking about the dreamers. I thought maybe the army crazy guy jumped in there because he just wanted a busload of dreamers and he was just he was like, we're going to start a new world.
What the hell is happening?
But I added that. But actually,
Right.
in South Carolina, this army trainee hijacked a bus with a pistol and held them all hostage.
Wow.
Children.
Why would he do that?
They said it was, I don't know.
Wow.
It wouldn't let me read it further. But I
So-
thought maybe it was the boss of Dreamers. Like, he wanted to take them to a special place.
Right, at least it wasn't Junkyard Joe. Junkyard Joe
wouldn't
he
do
didn't
that.
do that.
He guards the junkyard because that's where he keeps the souls.
That's where he keeps the souls. It's also where he keeps all the shit he doesn't need, but his wife wanted to throw it out. So he threw out his wife. And he has a dog.
What you got, man? You
Right?
bored over there?
Not really. No.
I almost blowed out my throat singing these crazy songs and shit. I feel it now. I'm starting to feel it. Because I was over there fucking just, I was
Sounds
fucking,
like tribal songs.
No, the thing is, I'm starting to feel, I was wondering when my throat hurt. Now I know.
So we have a fan who thinks I should start an audio podcast.
That's cool.
But one show is enough. I don't have focus for it. I can barely keep myself grounded with this podcast. I'm a scatterbrained lunatic. I'm just telling you right now, I don't have the focus for 2 podcasts. I'm not doing it.
The thing is, I think you'd be more successful.
What? What did you just say? What?
You'd be more successful.
Successful? That's funny.
Than
Oh
me.
my god.
Because people like you more than me.
No. You know.
I don't think I got what
I don't think it's that they like me more. I think it just has something to do with tits. That's all it is.
It always has to
It's
do
just
with
tits.
Let me tell you
That's
something.
all they care about.
If I pull out a couple of these hamburgers,
They're pretty. You have pretty titties. I want to see them.
yeah.
Right now. Pretty.
Let me flex it.
It's pretty. Look at that.
Look at that.
Very pretty.
Look, I don't do this for anybody.
Right, but that's hot.
I feel like I'm using myself. up.
No.
Take it all while you can get it.
You're very pretty. Okay, alright, please put your
Okay.
poor titty away,
There
okay?
we go. Did you enjoy
They're
that?
pretty.
Did you enjoy that?
Why do you have a pretty color to your titties? You do.
Because I got them.
Yeah, okay. But I got a nice color to mine too. Very nice.
Can we see those?
No, we can't.
I'm
No, we
kidding.
can't.
I'm
no.
just kidding. What's the difference between a man titty and a female titty?
The difference is that you don't produce milk, but
But no, men
You
can
could.
produce milk.
you can. I know. Do you know that?
No,
there-
hell no. They actually,
Yes.
some of them.
Did-
This is before
okay.
all these gay people wanted to
Listen
label themselves as
to me.
this and that and unicorns and all this.
Okay.
You know that some men would take hormones, so they in the African tribes.
In
they,
the tribes, I was going to tell
yeah,
you
they,
that.
they take
they-
certain things so they can help.
they
milk
breastfeed the
to give
babies.
the mother a break.
Yes,
Like it takes a village. As
they
say.
do that.
But yeah, men can breastfeed.
I was going to say
I
that.
am not.
I was going to say that.
So
yes.
get it out your head.
So in Africa.
But I thought if we both
That's
took
it.
those hormones and we started making our own milk, couldn't we make our own milk and drink it?
Some women will produce.
Couldn't we become our own cows?
Some women will produce those hormones
Yeah.
unprompted.
But why buy
unprompted.
milk if you can just produce it right out your own chest?
Okay.
I
don't-
want to know.
Yeah,
Why
you know,
wouldn't
that's
you just
hot.
make your
That's
own
really
milk?
hot. You would be on my tits all night.
And we
I
make our
know.
own butter.
But we don't do that.
Why
we just
not?
don't do
That's
that.
what I'm saying. You gotta think big.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know.
what do you
I've
got?
already thought about it. I've already
I'm
thought about
saying,
it.
Bo Diddley, butter.com.
Bo Diddley, you know you can make
We're
more than that.
24/7.
You can make ice cream. You can
Yeah.
make all kinds
Why
of...
don't we do it,
Yeah,
man?
we
just
can.
have drippy tits and we
Drippy
make our own
tits.
ice cream and we mail it out to people.
Right.
Fucking $100 an ounce.
Well, then you're going to have to get the stuff...
Got antibodies.
Yeah, but you're going to have to hook me up with that. I'm gonna have to start taking those hormones to do that.
I'm gonna research.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do some research.
I'll do it.
But let's put it on the back burner.
Right.
But I'm gonna do some research. I gotta look into this. I got genius ideas.
Okay. Anyway, so this is interesting. I think. This was written last week, but we didn't have time. This is interesting. I was thinking back to these memories I had of the 70s. Even though I'm not from the 70s, I somehow have memories of that time period living in New York. I was listening to this song by the band Suicide, and when I caught myself staring at the shift key on the laptop, it almost provoked a smile from me. I think perhaps we never really leave our experiences behind in death. It's possible that we experience a shift in nothing more. I think our actions and our deeds determine how we shift into the next existence. Now, you just walked off altogether. You forgot the music.
Yeah, but I got it back. No,
you missed all of it.
No, I was listening.
Okay.
We forgot.
Yeah, okay, so what did I say? What do you have to say about that?
You're projecting on yourself with an unknown dimension.
Right. Okay. Possibly. So what? Okay, whatever. Let's go back to this part here.
Yeah, they fill me in when I walked away. Fill me in on the last part. That's the part I'm missing.
I think perhaps we never really leave our experiences behind in death. It's possible that we experience a shift and nothing more. I think our actions and our deeds determine how we shift into the next existence.
Oh, that all falls into karma.
Right.
And now you shape your life in the next life because
Right.
you're setting yourself up.
Yes.
For what you do in this life, you have to pay for in the next.
Right. That's right. So this.
But some people are paying for sins of their ancestors, and
yes.
When it goes back to what I said in the last episode. When somebody punishes somebody and puts them in prison for 300 years, and that system was built off of a Native American system, they're gonna have to pay for it in the next life.
Right.
Even though if they're an innocent child, they still gotta pay for it.
Right.
And that could be for up to 3 lifetimes or whatever. But when you do things, there's consequences, and it could last beyond this life.
Mm-hmm.
Depending.
That's very true.
But you have to. That's what we go back to the beast of burden.
Mm-hmm.
You could be a goddamn genius, but you're carrying the beast of burden, which is the sins of your past lives, and you have to figure those out in order to carry on. Which I really feel good about. Because I've really changed a lot in my life, and I feel like I shed a lot of those skins.
I think so too.
But
just in my own life,
it was a rough road. But I mean, we come from a dark and bloody land, and that's just the facts.
Right.
But to confront it is the way you got to do it.
Yes.
A lot of people don't do it.
Right.
So they implode.
Right. So. That's what I do through meditation.
Yeah, but it's important to confront these ideas and theories. Close calls with copperheads. Wading in snake-infested waters looking for bullfrogs. That's Vietnam shit. That's what we did as children.
Mm-hmm.
And still to this day, I even think that's the craziest shit I've ever done. I used to wade around those ponds and fight off fucking water moccasins and shit, and they were like lions. There's more snakes than bullfrogs, I'll tell you that. What? But you was wading around with leeches and frogs, and you would catch them. Mm-hmm. But my mind never was afraid.
No.
But when you don't have fear, it seems like They
Well-
don't sense it, so they don't bother you.
No, they
But when you
mind their own
smack them over
business.
the head with a stick, they just run away. But hey, that's how I grew up. Just in the woods, and when you put that mentality to a grown-up life, it really helped me along the way.
Of course, and
Because you wade in waters, but you know people can sense when you feel a certain way.
yeah,
So you have to know how to code that.
right. And it goes back to what I said earlier, that if you could live through that danger, then what is making
Dude,
you so...
We live so dangerous.
Right, so what makes you worried about people?
I'm not.
Right.
I'm not, but I just don't. I don't like when I'm, especially now. I don't want to be around a group of them.
Right. No.
Because I mean, things are scary right now.
Yeah, you
And
don't know
they're
what
all-
they're
and
thinking.
I don't like being around
Right.
a group of nasty-looking people.
Right, you don't know what
So
they're
I
thinking or
run.
doing. Right.
When I feel the need to run, I listen to what
Yes.
my brain's
You
telling
don't
me, and I
belong.
go. I don't care how crazy it sounds, but
No.
that is instinct.
Yes.
And it's what kept me alive this long, so
If,
I listen to it.
If we listened to our instinct more often, we wouldn't be in all these problems. We wouldn't have this situation.
When I was young, my dad used to give me a beer to calm me down. I always had a lot of questions, as some kids do. It was as if the generation of drunks came together like a Megatron from Transformers. It was great. Now I got a lot more questions.
Right.
Daddy,
Yeah.
Daddy, Daddy, is that applesauce for me? Daddy, 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 is that applesauce for me? It's your birthday, is that gift mine? It's your birthday, is that gift mine?
Right.
I have my mom has a VHS where that's actually a true thing where I
Right.
sat there and said that repeatedly until he just lost his fucking mind.
Right.
Because he was, no, God damn it, none of these are yours. And I said, and I'd eat applesauce, and what'd I do? I looked and
Right
said,
back at it.
is that one mine? And he lost his fucking, but the thing is I remember that VHS video. I was a little kid because I looked down like I was scared, and I
Right.
waited for him to open the next one. I said, what about that one? Is that one mine?
Right.
And he lost the shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he would like go across my head and I'd still be laughing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was, dude, I love it, dude. I love
Right.
comedy. That was the greatest joke ever told because he'd lose his fucking mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what about that one?
Oh my gosh.
Come on.
Okay.
Hit me, killer.
I'm scared. I'm scared to say anything
Why?
because I don't think I have any good material now because I feel like it's getting shoved out.
Why?
Because the last thing I said just kind of went over your head, and then I feel like I'm just rambling through my writing, and it's not
Well, we got
good.
2
But
beers to go.
anyway, who knows? What else do I have? This is pretty nice. I was reflecting on how certain rooms with the right lighting and the right vibe can really make you feel at home. You know those dim lights that glow? It instantly makes me feel comfortable, and I like any place where I can watch people laugh and talk. I truly enjoy that. When I see other people enjoying themselves, it's like their joy fills me up too. That's something I miss. We don't have that anymore. But I really do miss that. Like a place you can go to where it's more relaxed. Like the shit could go down at any moment, but it just doesn't.
This place don't exist no
It just doesn't exist anymore.
Like there's dive bars and
It's
shit
gone.
where it's just like maybe you and a few guys or people got together,
Right.
you know, and had just you knew shit was gonna get crazy, but you just had a
Yeah,
good time.
it could.
But no,
It could happen.
but you know, you just get together, but nobody gets together. It's
Right.
It just don't. I mean, we live in a weird world.
We really do. And
And if you go there and you look at, if there was a place you went in there, you'd turn around and walk out and say, I can't take it.
right.
Fucking people wearing diapers on their mask and fucking
Right.
they do-
Yeah.
Oh, it's been years. I love it. You know what? I'm still jealous,
Right.
and I'm not gonna lie to you.
Mhm.
I wish I could have been locked up in the house for a fucking year, but you know what I was doing?
Working.
My fucking ass off. You know what? So hard because everybody was at the house.
Right.
But I've never been in the. I'm in the best shape I've ever been.
Hell
I'm telling you, I'm
yeah.
nothing but
That's
ripped
better.
muscle.
But
Just
that's
from running, but I never stopped.
you'd rather have that. I think
But
that's
I'd rather
better.
have that.
Yeah, so would I.
And that's another trouble. If I had a job where I just sat on my ass all day and drove around a machine, I'm not getting my exercise.
Remember earlier?
I gotta be running.
Remember earlier when I was showing you my belly? It's solid.
Yeah.
I got a solid belly.
Like I said, what
Yeah.
the fuck?
It's crazy. But I do that.
I think that's good enough.
I do that. It's like a kind of meditation.
South
We're not
Carolina
moving
leads the
on.
nation in bad roads.
We're not moving on. We're not moving on. I was about to explain my meditation. You know it, but
Okay.
the folks don't. Some of them don't. What I do is I lay down on my back, but I hold like my head and shoulders up. So I'm laying down, but I have my head and shoulders up.
That's
so
a crunch.
it's crunching right your chest.
Yeah.
But what I do is, as I'm doing that, I'm reading a book. So I'm directing my attention to the book
when I was
instead of
teaching
the
martial
workout.
arts in
Right.
the kids class, there was that bad Korean kid. That's
Yeah.
what I told him. But I made him do that, and I
Yeah.
hold a medicine ball over his head, and I said if he lost that position, I would let go of the ball.
Yeah.
And it's a big sand ball.
Yeah.
And he'd be crying.
Yeah.
That became one of my best
That's
students.
cool.
Because he was such an asshole, but he became one of the best students. Dude, this kid would whip ass.
Yeah.
But I tortured him because he had a bad attitude. He
Do
was
it.
a piece of shit, and his Korean family
Yeah, do
was
it.
like, no,
Yeah.
torture him.
Torture him.
But no, I put him through these physical. Every time he was bad, I say, well, you gotta lift your head and feet
Right.
and the torso. And I said, if those feet or hands hit the ground, I'm gonna drop this medicine ball on your
Mhm.
face, and I'll stand over him with it. And
Right.
he'd be crying like, please don't, because this thing weighs like 50 pounds.
Right.
I never would, but you gotta put the fear in him.
Right.
But that kid, when he learned discipline,
Mhm.
he was one of my best students. This kid was fucked.
Good.
He had talent.
That's very good.
But his attitude was wrong. But I fixed that,
Yes.
and that was probably one of the best achievements in my life.
Right. Now you reminded me of something.
He turned out to be a great fighter. But man, that was the biggest task. I really was happy. Like, I still won't forget it because he got
Right.
to where he would bow, yes ma'am, no ma'am.
Mhm.
I put him through the mill though, but that kid listened to everything I said and he became a great fighter.
Right.
I mean, he had skill, dude.
You reminded me of something.
But that he
I
had a
said.
nasty attitude. He was a brat.
I said not long ago that there's a reason why I humiliate the shit out of myself.
Yeah, you have to.
I do it. I humiliate myself on purpose because it keeps me humble. That's the reason I do it. Because I would rather be humble than stuck up.
Well, it's easy to
You know.
forget.
It is.
It's
Yeah.
easy to forget.
It's very easy to forget.
And
It is.
You're nobody.
Yeah.
You're nobody. You're nothing.
No.
But what makes you special? What have you done today? That's what I ask people. What
Right.
the fuck have you done today?
Right.
Because I ask myself that. If I got to do one distinguished thing a day,
Right.
whether it's write a small poem or something, I have to do something or I'll get so deeply depressed.
Me too.
I have a weird mind. I
Mhm.
will get fucked up in the head, and I don't want to do that. So I always make myself do one good, like, I try to do one thing a day.
Right.
And some days we do more than enough.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
today,
we do that.
the G.I. Joe episodes
Yep.
were out of
So fun.
sight.
Very fun. I was telling the folks about it while he went pee. He's our newest addition.
Oh,
He
man.
has stories. Sometimes he tells them through songs. But every week,
A lot of content.
lots of content.
I
We
like
really do.
It's good.
We have random songs, stories.
we got
That's
so
hilarious.
under this seat. I got so much more.
Yeah.
It could go on for days.
I mean, I just
It's pre-written.
my mind it just never fucking stops. It never stops. And some days I'm asking myself, how am I doing this? how are you still focusing on everyday tasks? I'm asking myself this, like, how are you still doing this? But, I don't know, somehow I keep myself together. But if you knew the fucking insanity that's going on in my mind, I feel like a space cadet.
No,
I don't even.
It's not insanity. I mean,
Yeah.
we're putting together a book.
Right.
I mean, but by the end.
And I'm writing a novel on top of that.
By the end.
Right.
Let's see. How many more do we gotta go? Let's see. We're working on the fourth magazine.
No.
Fifth?
No.
Third?
This is the third. We've only done 2.
Well, after 6, I'm
Yeah.
putting them together with. I got a book.
There's a
I'm
book.
gonna put together.
Right.
And that's when I give my middle finger to the world.
So, I don't know.
But I really want to focus on what we're doing. I think what we're doing is a lot better than this hocus pocus shit they tried to play with me.
You, if you could.
In that job interview,
if you could,
that shit was some bullshit,
okay.
and I know bullshit when I see it.
So maybe if you could soften the tone a little.
Okay.
Alright. Because what I'm about to say here was born from sensitivity. I said this. Did ya? I did say this. Different wording, but it's pretty much the same. I explained to him the reason why we have respect, the reason we should have respect for people. I said the reason we should have respect for others, especially those we hold close, is each person in our life directly affects our path. You have respect for them because without them, you would have no story, there would be no journey, and no lessons. That is why we should have respect for human life, for that single most profound reason. Every human is a part of your story. Everyone. And some take minor roles, some have major roles.
I like that.
And that's the thing. And and there are days where you might want to grit your teeth and you're like, and you don't want to listen to somebody, but you have to stick through it. Because it's part of the story. There's something to learn there.
To be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
When I think of people, I think I must think of John at least once a day.
I do too.
His wife and his family.
Yeah.
But, it's inspirational.
Yes, it is.
Because they're go-getters.
They are.
And
they suffer a lot.
I know we don't know, we don't talk names or anything, but I'm going to give a shout out to my boy Eli. He's another one. Right. He's not in the war or anything, but he's a go-getter. And it's strong souls like that, and there's many more. Mm-hmm. That's the type of people I want to surround myself with. Yes. Even though, they accept me as being weird, but, we're still together, though, but they like, we're together. I surround myself around people that I can trust. Right. And that's why I did the thing I did. Right. And walked away because I didn't trust these people. Even the people. I know. I can see the future. The thing is. I know. And you might as well. We mentioned this. You might as well tell them. How good am I at predicting the future? Oh, I can tell you. You are actually a lot like my sister, and I told her the same thing. You were right about 90% of what you say, maybe more than 90%. I can tell you what's going to happen. And I'm telling you, and it sounds crazy, but when it rolls out, then everything's a problem, and I'm walking through it like it's fire. And that's why I walked through fire, because I already knew it. She's another one who's like you. That's why I know where to stand. She can tell when something's about to happen. No, I can tell you anything. Yep. Oh, yeah. But I don't talk about it. Because I keep it to myself. Right. Yeah, we do. South Carolina leads the nation in bad roads. Yeah, tell me about it. My fucking tire came off my back wheel while driving home from work. Yeah. You gonna tell me South Carolina's the leading Yeah, no shit. There's potholes everywhere. That's why my fucking wheel fell off the back of my truck.
Hell yeah.
Thank God I didn't
We
die.
saw him today.
Fucking junkyard. But I love it.
And that's why we have Junkyard Joe, because he'll tell you the story.
Yeah.
About the time he was at Costco.
But guess what? I knew it was coming, bitches, and you can't stop me now.
He'll tell you about the time he was in the grocery
store. It cost me $109.
Right. Yeah.
For them to put the same rotten ass tire on and say, you can't go far. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? What do you mean? I can't go far. I gotta work on Monday. Right. You gotta get a new one. But we couldn't attach a spare because it was rusted and we couldn't get it off. But we put the one on that we said we couldn't put on. But you can't go far. Okay, so I'm driving around on the same. I'm waiting for it to pop off again.
Right.
This is the world I live in. Yeah. But it cost me $109 for what I could have done myself.
Yep.
But I'm with it.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
I mentioned this. I think I mentioned this the other day. You know, those old military men who come off really intense, but they're talking about like the time they walk their dog. It's like, do you really need to be that intense about it?
It's dramatic as fuck, isn't
I
it?
love it. Yeah.
It's dramatic.
It
as
is
fuck.
so funny.
It's in the war, but it's
Right.
a dog walking session.
Like, do you gotta be that?
I love it.
Right.
I love it.
Did it really have to go down that intensely? Did you have to say it like that? That's so funny.
But I do.
I love it.
I say absolutely yes. Give it to me, son. Take over.
Do you want to play the game here?
Oh shit! You know I do.
Okay, let's see how this goes. We don't have two, we just have one. So, you have to pick a time, and it will determine where you will be. So pick a time, where will you be? Pick a number between 1 through 4.
3.
Okay. I was scanning these numbers and I kept going back to 3, and I think it's funny you said 3. Okay. 4:05 a.m. So, you're lying around in bed, doubtful about the day ahead. I think we've all been there. You wake up at a certain time and you're thinking about what you have to do as soon as you get up out of bed, but you're really doubtful about it. Have you ever had those mornings where you're really not sure if this should happen? You're like, I don't know.
That's when you gotta get in the shower and really think about your life.
Yeah.
That's what we call hot and cold showers. You start out cold and you turn up to hot.
So, what do you do?
Do you know about hot and cold showers?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
You turn water cold and then you shock your body back to
Yeah.
A lot of only people who are alcoholics know about hot and cold showers.
Yep. So, you get up at 4:05 a.m. and you're laying around in the bed. You're not feeling it. So what do you do there? Let's see. You have to pick a number between 1 through 4 again. Okay, again. 2. You've sneezed about 4 times in a row and you think about your hatred for this place. It's time for a change of scenery. Okay. So, if we backtrack and we go back to the other times that you could have picked, you want to hear about those? So if you picked 1...
Absolutely.
If you picked 1, it was 10:25 a.m. You're standing by a river in a remote location. Okay?
No doubt.
And if you picked number 2, it was 5:15 p.m. You're sitting on a park bench waiting to hear from a friend. Okay? And if you picked 4, it was 6:23 p.m. You want to be at the gym, but you're on a boat with a friend whom you find annoying right now. So you're in a situation where you're stuck. Okay? And you want to be somewhere else. Now,
Damn. glad I didn't pick that, man. I don't miss those days at all.
So you chose number 2 on the second one. You sneezed. You're thinking about how you hate this place, and you want a change of scenery. You have to get out. Now, you want to know what you could have picked instead?
Yeah.
If you picked 1, you're smoking or drinking and daydreaming about the past. Okay. If you picked 3, you start rummaging through old trinkets you have stashed away. And if you picked 4, you crack open a book and start reading. You're more of the philosophic type. Okay. Let's move on. So what happens when you pass out? You're gonna pass out. So, you have to pick a number between 1 through 4.
Right.
I'm pretty sure you gotta pick another number between 1 through 4. You pass out, so what do you pick?
1.
1? It's hard to tell if that was really a dream you experienced or something that happened the day before. You seem acutely self-aware now than at any other time in your life. You seem to conclude that a lack of consideration for those around you will lead to your detriment. So it sounds like you kind of had an introspective vision there. And it seems that you concluded that you need to be more considerate of those around you.
Yeah.
Maybe you...
I agree with that.
Really?
Yeah, I absolutely do. I need to be more considerate.
Yeah, it says it will lead to your detriment.
No. I would confess and think I need to be more considerate. Because I get caught up in my own head, and I think I need to be more considerate.
I do too. I do that too.
I have to remind myself of that. I would be honest with that.
Right.
Because I get a bad attitude sometimes.
So,
I have to keep it under control. Like I said, that's why I want to surround myself with good people, because they remind me of that.
Right.
And it keeps me on the level.
I hope I'm one of the good ones.
Yeah, it
I hope
is.
so.
But that's why I said I didn't want to make a dramatic change in my life, and that's why I walked away from that job.
Right.
Because it wasn't good for
me. So do you want to know what else you could have picked?
Mm-hmm.
If you picked 2, you had the kind of dream which is short and sweet. For some reason, you dreamed about being a kid again. Then you realize you may have just robbed yourself of all the fun you could have had. Why should it stop after childhood? Like, why can't you keep having fun?
I didn't know it did.
See, so that's another one you could have picked. And 3.
I'll build a ramp out front tomorrow. When I'm done paying your dentist bill, I have a future. I want to get one of those electronic mountain bikes. And I want to get it at top speed.
Oh my god! Yeah.
And I want to come down the hill, and I want you to record me hitting a homemade ramp, and I want to do like a spin in the air. I want to try to do, but
those are
I don't want to hurt myself.
Those are really fun.
But I might have to practice a little bit. I used to be able to do some bike tricks, but we're gonna put a tag on that. But I'm not saying it's gonna happen, because I'm gonna be careful, because I'm almost 40. I don't know if I can do that kind of shit.
There's 2 more you could have picked here.
And I want an El Camino and a dirt bike.
Okay, but there's 2 more. I love El Caminos. I'm sorry.
I know I do too.
I know. It's the best of both worlds.
I don't even want to open that bike. Look. We're poor white. Look, we're fixing your fucking teeth. Look, I got dreams.
Right. I had a problem tooth not long ago. And it wasn't my fault either.
It wasn't.
It really wasn't.
I'm glad we caught on to it.
Right.
Because if we just would have let that go, it could have killed you.
He said it wasn't my fault.
I'm so happy that we took care of it.
Right. It's just an abscess.
That could have been deadly.
He said,
No, that's a big deal.
He said that I
had infection.
Okay. He said I had
I was
a feeling.
worried about you.
Whatever, but I had a feeling in there. Okay. He said that apparently it was too large, and over time there was bone loss, and he said that there was trauma caused to that tooth. And it's likely that I clenched my teeth in my sleep. And that could have led to it. But either way, I had an abscess. He fixed it. And I gotta go in for a permanent filling next month, and that's it. So
yeah, make sure to put a fucking diamond in that bitch.
No. They don't do that.
Oh yeah, they will.
Do you want to know? No, they won't.
Hey, won't you make me some gold teeth and we just
Okay,
pop
honey.
them bitches in there? Let's just go all out.
No, but did you? Hey,
look good.
No. But
I want a grill.
No, I don't want that. But do you know what's funny? You're being such a smartass. Do you know that in Egypt, do you know the skeletal remains they found? Jewels in those teeth? They put jewels in the teeth.
They put diamonds in the teeth.
That's insane.
No, they did.
Yeah.
They put diamonds inside the
That's
teeth.
real.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is resin. It's a resin.
I want diamonds
But
in my teeth.
I don't. But that's crazy. Mister, you know, people watch this. You know, and they see that and they think, is he fucked up? But you're really just being silly. You're being silly.
What else?
Okay. Now you did pick. You picked. What did you pick here? Number 1. About what happened when you passed out. Okay. Now, if you picked 3, you want to know what happened when you passed out? You barely slept, but when you did, those dreams were a complete torment. You couldn't wake up sooner. Why did you have to run away from every little thing that moved? Maybe it's time to reconsider your inner paranoia. Some things in life we simply should not run away from. You seem to be very suspicious of people you work with. Don't sweep that to the side. So apparently you need to pay attention to that dream. You're running from things, you're paranoid, and there's people you work with that you need to keep an eye on. So that's one of the numbers you could have picked. And if you picked 4, after that dream, you want to go back to that dream world cave you had. Everything was in there. You even had the love of your life there. And you both spent so much time on the beach together. It's hard to say what freaky language you two spoke, but this had to be one of the most heavenly dreams you've ever had. Perhaps it's a sign of good fortune to come. So you didn't have that, but you went with 1. You went with 1, and you are more self-aware now. You concluded that your lack of consideration for those around you will lead to detriment. So who knows? Who knows about any of that? That is that. We're also at 49:43, so do you have anything more to add? Anything?
No.
Anything at all?
Probably. You want to, like, maybe have a little song or something?
Sure.
Maybe a little jazz beat?
Sure.
Look,
You want to keep that going in the back?
I would, yeah, keep it going. I would just like to say,
okay.
We're just having fun here in this show.
Right.
I hope everybody enjoys it.
And, you know, sometimes we're kind of bitchy. Sometimes,
we got mad love, you know?
Yeah, sometimes we're funny, sometimes...
We just like to get crazy, you know, and live life. Because you better live it now, because you might not have it too much longer.
No.
Don't let nobody tell you what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Be free and be respectful.
Right.
But,
and, you know,
you can take it or leave it.
We're more orange, like what David's wearing. That's a nice color. It looks good.
Now here's a piece.
You look good. David Graham. Tune in next week.
Bitches.
Bitches.
Bitches.